Hi, my name is David Nichols. I'm the founder and CEO of Core Technologies. I want to present today an amazing technology that's going to revolutionize IT automation. Qorus 7 that we just released has an amazing set of features that empower non-expert users to use complex technologies without having to have any kind of training or expertise in those technologies. So cloud systems, data, any kind of business system, you can just use your mouse, connect to it, and build an automation solution. This is really cool. The no-code capabilities in Qorus 7 are awesome, but there's an aspect of Qorus 7 that takes the evolution of IT automation to another level. And this is actually using a technology from a company called Anthropic called Model Context Protocol. Now, this doesn't mean much necessarily, like intuitively, if you hear Model Context Protocol, it's not really probably clear what it does unless you already know. But it's a technology that enables AIs to connect to servers like Qorus, for example, and do the work for you. So instead of, for example, having to build a solution, well, we can build it here with AI, we can describe what we want, or we can build it manually. We can select our applications, and we can say, hey, like when I get a new email attachment, then I want to react to it and do something with it, for example. And we can build that by hand. We can use any of these systems, and we're adding more all the time. And that's super cool. But there's a lot of applications that do that, to be honest. Qorus has an amazing and super easy to use no-code approach, but MCP takes it a step further. So what MCP does is it allows an AI to build the solution for you, and you can, you talk to that AI in plain natural language. Model Context Protocol was released by a company called Anthropic. Anthropic has its own front ends called Claude. And Claude is like ChatGPT. There's different models you can use, but it basically accepts your input and it tries to help you. It tries to, do what you ask it to do. Well, MCP is a way of giving AIs the tools that they need to get real work done. So this is why I see it as the next big thing and basically a revolution in IT automation, because it makes it so much easier to get real work done. Let me show you how it works when we're connected to Qorus. So we can see here, if we go down to tools, we can go down to Qorus and we see, oh, we have 563 tools available from our Qorus instance, and they're all enabled here. And if you look over on the left, if you remember those applications, any connections that I've created in Qorus that I've authorized, and again, that's just point and click and just authorize the connection. So it's very, very easy. It doesn't need any kind of expertise whatsoever. Those connections are then exported through MCP to Claude here, and we can work with the different technologies that we have, and we can tell the AI what we want to do with it. This is incredibly powerful. Let me see, let's have an example. Let me type in, or actually I'll use a voice to see how that works. Show me the latest deals in Salesforce and who created them. Okay, so it didn't catch that then. I'll type that in. And now the AI is going to use the tools that it has available, and we have a lot of tools in Qorus, to satisfy my request. As you can see, it's already building it's building their tool call, which is basically just an API call in Qorus, and it's getting the information so that it can answer my request. So this is a simple read-only call, but it shows you that instead of having to use a user interface, in this case, I'm just saying what I want, and the AI is doing it. So that's pretty cool. These are all example deals in Salesforce. These they come when you were a Salesforce partner, so we just have these as like the part of the base data, and it's showing us the overview of the deals. So that's pretty cool. and it's giving some information about it. Let's try something else. Let's try to make some actual changes. Let's say we want to migrate a contact from, for example, HubSpot, it's another CRM system, to Salesforce. Please merge the data for the David Nichols contact from HubSpot into Salesforce. Good. So now the AI again is going to I have to authorize the tool. And this also brings up the point that the power of MCP is it's enormous. It's impossible to overstate. It's just the amount of work you can get done with this in such a natural way is just amazing. But it's also so powerful that, and this is another point, that the AI is really trying to help you all the time. So it can make assumptions sometimes that you don't want it to do. I can give you an example. This is a funny but true story. I was given an example of how MCP works to a customer. And I did this contact merging example. And at the time, my Salesforce connection wasn't up. So the AI saw that and said, oh, instead of using Salesforce, I'll migrate the contact to NetSuite. And so it started proceeding to do that, which is obviously absurd. You do not want it to make those kind of assumptions. So you have to build that. You have to keep that in mind, of course. If you have a bunch of tools enabled and you don't want it to, be so helpful that it tries to do something you didn't ask it to, which it does quite often, I must say. So you can also disable those tools, or you can put, something like guardrails in your prompt. You can say, if one of these systems is down, don't use another system or something like that. But I'm keeping it really simple here. And in fact, it worked. So it merged the contact from my HubSpot instance into Salesforce. So that is pretty cool. And it gives me a summary of what it's done. Let's say we want to do something with our email. Let's ask it to send out an email about MCP in Qorus, something like sales automation. So let's say, create a nicely formatted HTML email about the amazing MCP capabilities of Qorus 704, where MCP is Model Context Protocol. Describe what it is, give some examples of what you can do with it in terms of business automation, offer a demo, and send it to the latest contact in Salesforce, even if it's me, using Gmail, and sign it with my name, David Nichols. Okay, so we have some pretty explicit, okay, I didn't mean to capture that, let me back up. We have some pretty explicit instructions there. Let's see what it's going to do. Let's hope that I am the last contact actually in Salesforce, because we just updated my contact. So it's searching for the contacts in Salesforce. It had to do a trial and error. The first API call didn't work. Okay, so now it's creating the HTML email. And it's going to send to me, so that's fine. So I'm not going to send this email to somebody who probably doesn't want to get it right now. So it's creating the HTML there. I think Claude is pretty cool with this kind of stuff. When it creates documents and stuff, it has a really nice UI to show you the document. There it is also showing syntax highlighting in the HTML, and the content is exactly what I asked it to be. Is really telling about how MCP can help you in real-world business automation scenarios. And then it's going to send the email, and I will be able to see it. Should be getting an email on my phone when we're done. There we go. Ah, look at that. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the HTML email. Looks very professional. Oh, I'm a MCP specialist and business automation expert. Cool. Well, I guess I am in a way. Okay, so now it's actually sending the email. And I just got an email. Course 704. That is, of course, because the voice recognition didn't recognize that I said I wanted of Qorus version 704. I'll have to speak more clearly next time. But the MCP technology layer between Claude and Chorus allowed the AI to do this business automation just based on me talking to the AI. We can obviously do more than that. We can have it create a nice email, for example, let's say in HubSpot, or we also support Mailchimp and other tools like that, other communication tools, and we can review it, and then we can tell the AI to send it out to a contact list. The point is that using Chorus and MCP with Claude or OpenAI or whichever AI that you have, it's an amazingly powerful tool for business automation. It is, as I mentioned before, subject to hallucinations, to trying to do more than you asked it to, or adding steps that you didn't necessarily want it to do. In this case, what I'm trying to say is it can be dangerous. It's so powerful that it can be dangerous. So you have to really be aware of that when you're using it. But it's mind-blowing the real work you can do with far less effort than ever before. Let me try another one. This should be a really interesting one. I'm going to have it create an app for us. This is more of a technical task. So let's describe the app that we want it to create. So this is like something that you would normally give to your IT department. Create a database with contact info in the OMQ user data source, and a small app with a web form to accept that info and start the listener on localhost on port 8080. And please create a script to automate the installation and setup of the application. Okay, this time the text-to-speech looks great. Don't know why I have a capital P on the port, but shouldn't matter. So we're actually telling the AI to write us an app. Now this is going to be less dependent on Chorus, although it's probably going to use Chorus I'm sure it's going to use Chorus to create the database, but it's creating the database schema with SQL. So it seems to also know that that was a Postgres database because it created SQL for it. And now it's creating the server, and this is a server written in JavaScript. So it's generating a JavaScript application for us. This is the second artifact. The first artifact was the database schema created with SQL. And now it's creating an HTML page for us to actually manage this, to accept the input, that is, to the database that it's created. So that's something we'll run when this is done. Okay, so we just had a brief glimpse of that contact management front end. It's the package.json is for the Node app. We have to continue here because it's doing a lot of work for us. So sometimes Claude will pause and ask you to continue. So we have continued. The database configuration. Okay, so this is the connection to the local database on the local development machine. And now it's creating the environment file. And now the server with the database integration. Okay, so that's done. Setup script. Now this is going to allow us to set it up automatically. And here's another, this is the installation script, so that's great. So we have a setup script written in JavaScript and an installation script written in Shell. Okay, again, we need to continue. I wonder if I should give him a thumbs up. Let's try it first. Again, we have to continue. Now it's creating an installation script on Windows, which we don't need, but always the AI tries to be very, very helpful. We could have told it that we didn't need that, but anyway, we're going to get it. Okay, now we get a deployment guide, API documentation, schema, example API calls, troubleshooting, and we have to continue again. Okay, looks like we're done. So now we need to run the installation script. All right, let's take the install script, if that's what this one is. And if we say we want to download it as a shell script, great. Let's do that. Installation script. Okay, so if we look at our deployment guide, we just need to run the install script. So we're going to do that. Okay, so it's installing everything. It's setting up Node. Right, now we can start it. npm start in production mode. Oh, we have no, oh, it's because we need to change the directory. npm start. Okay, so we should have our server running on localhost port 8080. Let's check it out. Contact management system. Wow, cool. Okay, let's add a contact. We have 3 example contacts. There, add contact. Okay, so we cannot add a contact, but I'm sure it's documented about what we can do. And we have these 3 contacts there. It should be in the database, and the name of the table will be visible, I'm sure, somewhere in our documentation. We'll do it with voice commands. Please show the contents of the contacts table in the OMQ user data source. Okay, let's see if it can figure it out, even though the text-to-speech would type it differently, or puts the text differently than actually I would type it in myself, but that's okay. The AI needs to figure out everything for us, and I believe it's correct. Yes. So it can show us the 3 contacts that were created there in our contact management system. This is just one example of how we can put AI to work for us. Using MCP, it allows us to have tools to do all sorts of different kind of operations in different systems. And the amazing thing is that we can control all of the automations that we create through natural language by talking to an AI. It's not actually only it's not only Claude that supports MCP. MCP is getting supported by lots and lots of different products and more every day. In fact, the situation is changing every day. Visual Studio Code now supports MCP. So in Copilot, you can use tools to get stuff done. So if you wanted to ask in Copilot, like for example, we want to say, do I have any emails in my Gmail inbox referencing this file? Okay, so now it's actually running the tool. And that's how we can see that it's referencing it. So it did find the references to those to emails with this file. So we're going to say we're going to always allow it to read emails in our email box. And of course, Copilot can be used for a lot of things directly related to coding. This is just an example of how you can use tools, to enhance the capabilities of Copilot, what it has already. And so it's retrieving the mails now. And it's going to show me which emails I have that reference this file. All right, so we've used our tools to give some information that we wanted. It does give an example of how the tools can be used anywhere. So even in Visual Studio Code and Copilot, you can use the tools. You can use those as part of your workflow directly in the editor itself. So MCP is an amazing technology that allows AIs to do work on your behalf. It allows you to tell the AI in natural language what you want to get done, and then it's the AI's job to figure out how to make the API calls and things like that to actually achieve the task that you've given it. This can be dangerous as well if it starts to use for example, other systems that you didn't name in an effort to be helpful. It can also insert additional steps that you didn't ask it to do as a part of an assumption that you probably would want that to be done. That means you have to be very careful with your prompts as well. The impact of this is going to be revolutionary. Getting work done like this is so easy that it democratizes access to to automation capabilities to a lot more people that didn't have it in their hands before. This is something that's working right now. You can use Chorus integration engine together with a Claude, for example, or with OpenAI or whatever, in any supported MCP tool, and you can get work done exactly like we see here. This is going to change the world, I believe. The power is just absolutely, it's amazing. I keep looking for the limits of what you can get done, and I keep being surprised that I go far beyond what I thought was possible. Thank you very much for your attention. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or you would like a customized demo regarding how you can use this technology and this approach to get your own work done. This is David Nichols from Core Technologies using Chorus connected through AIs through MCP Model Context Protocol. Thank you.